welcome to Southwestern France and the city of Pau for the 1966 Pau Grand Prix. The Pau Grand Prix circuit twists and turns through the streets of Pau is very similar to the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, but much faster. The front straightaway and some of the other straight sections through the park, the cars carry a lot of speed and therefore it was quite a dangerous circuit as well. Although we're coming off of 2 Formula 2 rounds in Great Britain, this is actually the start of the French Formula 2 championship season. So a fresh start here, same full grid of cars though I'll be racing against. Should be a really competitive race. The real-life race was dominated by the Brabham team. Jack Brabham won ahead of his teammate Denny Hulme in the Brabham Hondas, just like they did the rest of the season, but only by a half second, so it was relatively close up front. Graham Hill finished third, another second or so back in a privately entered Brabham. This race always attracted the top F1 stars in the 60s, and winning the Pau Grand Prix itself was very much an achievement along the lines of winning a real Formula 1 Grand Prix itself. So this race should be good today, but it's going to be a challenge. We'll take a look at the circuit. We'll be running 24 laps around the Pau Grand Prix course. So this race is quite a bit longer than the British races for Formula 2 that we were just racing in. It's much more of a full Grand Prix. I think the real race was something like 80 laps around this track, which is quite long. So it'll take a little while to do. It's going to be a really tough one to just keep it clean the whole race. But the circuit itself, very twisty track. You have this very fast front straightaway. First corner is quite treacherous. Very fast right-hander, and then coming into gear. First turn all the way down to first gear, and you have to get a good exit there because that spits onto another straightaway and up to the Oscar corner. This left-hander I think will be a good passing opportunity. Sweeps under a viaduct bridge there, and it's a pretty good spot to outbrake opponents, but a short run then to a very tight right-hand hairpin really, where hopefully things won't stack up. I could imagine some interesting incidents there. You go on through the park, a long set of sweeping left-handers and then right-handers where you just have to try to get the apexes correct, balance the car, and then up to the first chicane. This one's quite tricky. The track actually falls away, but then you head down the hill, head to a long right-hander, which doesn't seem so easy to pass on as I thought it might have been, but that sets you up then for the final stretch. And there's one final chicane before you get to the front stretch again, which hopefully getting a good exit out of could set you up well to pass down the front straightaway, but it's not such an easy run. This turn right before the front stretch looks a little less severe than it is in actuality getting onto that front stretch. So we'll have to see where passing can be done. It's a tight track like Monaco, like I said, so you really have to be careful with the passes, stay off the curbs, obviously stay away from the walls, and for 24 laps, it's not such an easy ask. I can't even imagine doing 80 around here. And we'll take a look at the starting grid. Kurt Aaron's able to get the pole again ahead of Pete Arundel and Jochen Rindt. So Arundel did really well getting onto the front row. It's actually interesting that Brabham's even on the second row. But if their qualifying attempts were anything like mine, there was a ton of traffic. I felt like I hit cars almost every lap trying to make my fast laps. So that'll definitely come into play in the race a bit. But Jack Brabham, Jackie Ickx on the second row. Look back to the third row. Jackie Stewart, Alan Rees. I'm all the way back on the fourth row for this one. So I'm starting way further back than I would like in ninth position. Especially on a track like this, I think passing cars is going to be very difficult. And hopefully you can get a good start, stay out of some of the craziness, and then try to work on the leaders. I think I can go quite a bit quicker. I did get held up in traffic, like I said, in qualifying. So we'll have to see just how the start goes and if I'm actually able to pass some of these cars before the race really gets underway. So the hopes for this one are to keep it clean. This should be great preparation for Monaco, but I'd love to add the Pau Grand Prix to the list of achievements for young Richie here. So let's get started with this, the 1966 Pau Grand Prix. All right, so here we are on the grid. Got Jackie Stewart and an Alpine right in front of me. I think that's Henri Grandshire. The flag is up. Down, we're underway. Good launch off the line. We'll get it up to second gear, sliding behind Stewart. So we'll head down towards the first corner. Leisurely right-hander though. Side by side's uncomfortable. Come down to the first real corner. Oh, down to second. Down to first. Stuck in behind the Alpine here on the outside. Car slid up the inside there. I'm side by side with another one. But getting a good run up the hill, we'll head towards Oscar. Oh, car in front, crashing. I think that's Jack Brabham, some wheels. Oh man, have to avoid those. I don't know what happened there. Down to second though. Oh, calm down a little bit after that. I still got a car right behind me though. Everybody fighting as ever. We'll come to the hairpin. Right down to first gear. The Alpine on the inside. Oh, he runs a little wide. Cars behind me taking each other out as well. It's an absolute mess here at the Pau Grand Prix. All right, we'll come into the park though. No idea what position I'll be in. That was an absolute mess there off the line. So right-hander here tightens up on the exit down to second gear. All right, down to first for the chicane. Just try to calm down a little bit. Long race. No need to do anything too wild on the opening lap. Just want to survive mostly. Oh, I'm heading down the hill. This Alpine's pretty slow. Surprised I got out-qualified by him. All right, second gear will come to the final chicanes. A big dip there on the entry. Oh, he's so slow through it. Gets side by side onto the front straightaway. All right, up to fourth gear, easily able to pass. So come towards the line. I just got to worry about debris and stuff here. Hopefully the track cleared itself. Get down to fourth. Just throw it through the first right-hander. Get it down to first gear here. Take the inside line away. I could see the lunge coming from behind. Come around. Not seeing anything, so quick work by the marshals cleaning all that up. But that was definitely Jack Brabham. I saw the number 1 on the side of the car, so not going to be Brabham's day here today. I've done quite a few races here, never seen that before in the opening lap, so absolute fireworks. But we'll come around. I think I got Alan Rees in front of me now. No clue how many cars there are still ahead. I'll have to look at the pit board at the end of this lap. We just floated on through the park. It's opened things up pretty nice. I think that took out at least a couple cars that were in front of me. Right down to first. Need to get the downshifts there correct to get through that chicane. It's so tight. That's where I was expecting an incident to be, not necessarily after the first corner, but all right, come through, head down the hill towards the chicane then. Ooh, slow as well. Able to get a good exit there. I think I'm just quicker through the chicane than some of these guys. But another easy pass on Rees. All right, we'll come to the line, see if I can see my pit board this time. Be a lap behind, so I was P6, 22 laps to go, so plenty of time. It's up to P6, so I'm up to P5 now with that move on Rees. Get down to first. Still right there behind me. So fifth, 4 more cars in front. I can see 3 of them at least. No, all 4 leaders just disappearing there as I came around the corner. These 2 in front battling into Oscar. It's a good passing spot. A little hot there. Second gear up the hill. Try not to hit anything on the inside or outside. Just want to be nice and tidy. All right, just floated on through the corner. Down to second, tightens up on the exit. Just can nip the curbs there a little bit, but don't want to do too much of that. The suspension pulling in nicely on the 2 cars in front then. Not sure who it is yet. It's a whitish helmet. We'll come through to the chicane again. Ooh, car jumps down there. Feels like you could go a lot faster through it, but you have to be careful. That dip really upsets the car. I tried some pretty fast laps in practice. We'll come across the line though. I didn't check my pit board that time. Hopefully I can just continue pulling in on these 2. All right, get it down to first gear. Oh, it's Jackie Stewart in front of me then. And Pete Arundel in front of him. I can see the orange helmet up there in the Lotus. So we'll stick in behind Stewart here into Oscar, down to second gear. Ooh, he's pretty slow on the entry. Oh, I want to go up the inside of the hairpin, but it doesn't generally work out. It's such a tight corner. It's tough to get 2 cars through there all right. Up to third gear then, into the park. Long sweeping right-hander. It's awkward shifting down to second there, but it's really the only way to get slow enough in time. Oh, Stewart really slow through the first chicane. Coming down, long right-hander. Oh, he leaves the inside open, side by side. There we go, able to make the pass. So we'll head down to the scent now. Oh, over the hump. Arundel a little slow out of the chicane too. Oh, alongside of him, just making passes left and right here. Up to fourth gear, just nipped the curb there, but able to clear him before we get to the start-finish line. I was P5 last lap, I guess I'm P3 now. Get it down to fourth gear. Arundel's right behind me. I'll block the inside line. So we'll come down to the first turn. It's going to sling up the outside. Should have a better exit here, though. There we go. Whoa, going defensive there a bit, but I didn't want him to get back around. Pretty easy to lunge on somebody through the first corner. All right, second gear. Oh, he's right behind me coming into Oscar. Backs out of it. But still there. Let's come up to the hairpin. Need to focus forward rather than in the mirrors, but there, able to get him through the hairpin. Not easy to follow a car through there fast. So slide it through the park now. Not sure who would be out front at this point, with Brabham having crashed out there. Getting up to second. Ooh, almost touching the curb. Try to get as good of a run as I can here, coming down the hill through the chicane. Should clear any hope of Arundel coming back on me. Ugh, almost touching the hay bales to the right there, but threading the needle, able to get it through. All right, come across the line. I'll check out the pit board this time. So P3, 19 laps to go. I got Kurt Ahrens in front of me, but what was that, 7 seconds? Do our best here to try to catch up. I imagine, I don't know if we'll hit lap traffic, especially with some cars being taken out early on. We'll see how well I can do. I could just see him disappearing there ahead, so we're not totally out of touch with the car in front. Just want to push conservatively. You don't want to overdo it, but try to put good, clean laps together. Down to first then, through the hairpin. Oh, so making so many spots up in the early running here. Thanks to the melee in the early laps, but it is a competitive race like that. Everybody wants to win at Pau. Down to second gear then, to the chicane. Ooh, touching the curb just a little bit. So much scenery and things just whizzing by here. Get kind of tunnel vision, especially in this section coming down the hill. Try not to go too quick here. It's easy to overdo it there, deceptively easy. I can just see the cars ahead disappearing for 7 seconds, but it's always a lap delayed, so just keep pushing at it. We didn't lose any time at least. Come down to first. Ooh, a little bit deep, but that is okay. Try to get a good run exit up the hill. Yeah, pulling in. Definitely pulling in. I can see him just ahead, and I see the leader as well, so we got to fight for this. We just got to get some good laps. Got plenty of laps to do it. Luckily, it's a longer race. It's good practice for it, too. The real Grand Prix for Formula 1 are quite long as well, so you don't need to get it all done in one lap like with the British F2 stuff. This track's twisty and tight enough that I think my underpowered car is just a little less disadvantaged. Well, a little bit wide there coming into the chicane. Touch the curb, it pushes you out wide. You have to consider that. Right down to first gear. Over the hump. Oh, getting really close to the barrier on the right side. All right, last time by, what was I at? 5 seconds, so I pulled in 2 seconds. Just continue to do that. It'll be no time I'll be up there with Ahrens. Remember, Kurt Ahrens is leading the British Championship right now, so it's definitely quick. Down to second for Oscar. He'll start to see me as well as I can see him. Never a good feeling when you're driving along and suddenly a car starts appearing in your rear view. Especially when they catch you from far behind, you know it's not going to be long till they get around. Oh, just hit that curbing a little too hard. It pushes you so wide. Come up to the chicane here. Closing in nicely now, though. All right, up to fifth gear. Over the line. Don't even need to look at the pit board now. I know I'm closing in. Down to first. Love the huge viaduct here on the left side. It's so iconic from this track. Get down to first gear here. Nice speed through Oscar. Right on the back of Aaron's now. So I pulled him in from 7 seconds just in a few laps. Has to bode well for the ultimate speed. But the leader, whoever that is not so close to us. Down to second a little too early there. We'll just rev it out a bit. You lose a little bit of time at the apex. Ooh, touch the curb on the left or the right. Ooh, almost spinning the car out there. Always 1 second away from disaster around this track. All right, through the chicane. Oh, he's so slow through there. Get a good exit. Side by side with Aaron's. Fourth gear. Not really a place you want to go side by side. He slats in behind, though. Oh, that was close. All right, so passing for second position here. With, I think, more than half the race to go. We'll come down to the first corner. Just looking at me there, but able to block successfully. I like to lunge up the inside in turn one. You gotta be very aggressive with the passing here. Found the AI around this circuit to be more aggressive than pretty much every other track that I've ever raced at in GPL, but it's great fun. All right, first gear then for the hairpin. You can see him trying to lunge on me from behind, but as soon as we get away here, try to focus forward. I have no idea how far the leader is ahead. Or who the leader is, really. It's definitely not Jack Brabham, at least. All right, second gear, slide a little bit wide there. Up to the chicane. You want to get a little tighter to the left there, but the jump or the dip in the ground is even more severe and definitely can spin the car out, so you keep it a little bit to the right. Look at the pit board. There's a Yakin Rent in front, of course. He won I think he won the opening round right at Alton Park for the British Championship. Trying to do the same here for the French Championship. But not if we have a say in it. Try to push. I can just see him disappearing ahead, so it's pretty much the same deal as Aaron's. Just have to put good laps together. Yeah, we might hit lap traffic. I'm not sure because cars are out too, but it's a pretty long race. I think it said 14 laps to go, so quite a lot of time. Some of the cars are very slow at the back, so we'll have to see what happens here. Look down to second again there. I need to keep it in third for this. Shift down to second, pretty much at that flag, man. through the chicane. I can see him ahead though, so pulling in, this won't be long as I can keep it clean. It's tougher than it sounds. It's not an easy track to drive around. There's a lot going on with it. Not a lot of room for error. Most of the corners have walls just right on the outside of them. Just throw it in to Oscar. Second gear, but it helps get you a little more torque there at the end. You don't need to shift as much. Through the hairpin, closing up nicely now. I think I'm quicker pretty much everywhere, but no doubt in that final chicane as well. All right, come around right-hander here through the park. Be a great place to watch a race with the cars flying by, feet from your vantage point. I don't really know better yet in the 60s. Much of the fans just with a few hay bales in front of them. All right, come to the final chicane. I can see Rent now very clearly. Try to get a good run out of there. So he probably once thought he had a pretty good lead, but I'm just chewing into it every corner. Look at the pit board. I was 4 seconds behind last time by. No way I'm 4 seconds anymore. Probably more like 1.5. I come down to first gear for the first turn. Definitely that crash with Brabham on the first lap helped me out here because I think he was going to be quick. So one of the big competitors out of the race right at the start. Ooh, a little bit hot into the hairpin. A lot of oversteer in the exit. Love that. Even in these lower powered cars, you can still get some wheel spin there in first gear. He's holding me pretty good through this section, but I think it's at the end of the lap that I really pick up a lot. Down to first gear through the hairpin or the chicane. Mixing up all my words around here. There's a lot to think about. Ooh, touching the curbing there. Don't need to push quite this hard. Got plenty of time. I think we'll take a look at the pit board, but I think we're over halfway, but still plenty of laps to go. All right, coming to the final chicane. Chewing a little more to that lead. There we go. White flag means a slow car. Ooh, a couple cars pulling in the pits there. Take a look at the pit board. So 11 laps to go. Plenty of time here. Just take it nice and easy. Down to fourth. Don't forget the shift there. Just put the pressure on. Find a nice place to pass. Maybe coming out of that final chicane. Come up to Oscar here. He goes really deep through there. Oh, through the hairpin. He's so slow coming out of it. Side by side, but not going to work through the park here, through Casino. Oh, and he runs wide. Oh, no. Kept it on the track. I think he just got on the curb there. It's the graphics make it look a little bit different. But able to recover. Okay, get it down to first through the chicane. Oh, and he runs wide again. It's all over the track. Oh, touching the curbs. Don't need to be doing that. He's probably pushing. It looks like he's running deep into almost every corner here. Just need to watch out for that. Come up to the chicane. Oh, yeah, and he definitely runs deep there. Let's try to get a good exit. Maybe got Rint pressured a little bit up to fourth gear. Swing in front of him, take the lead here at Pau. Just need to watch my mirrors. Come through this right-hander. Take a conservative line or block the inside. He's going to come around the outside, try to take me. I think he might have ran into the wall there, maybe. Maybe not. No, side by side. All right, holding him behind. A little worried about the braking up here to Oscar, though. Try not to go too deep. but deep enough where he can't lunge on me, take the apex away. He thought about it. Come through the hairpin. Surely this will help seal the deal. Oh, I could just see him behind. And I see a car ahead as well, so probably already hitting some lap traffic. There we go. Taking the lead at Pau, though. I think 10 or so laps to go. Just need to try to put clean ones together. A lot of racing left. A lot of chances for mistakes. Ooh, a little fast there as I was talking about that through the chicane. Come down to first gear. So I just got up behind Rent and he was all over the track. And I come through the chicane, slow car in front. Goes to the inside line, hopefully stays there. There we go. Always nervous about the lap cars trying to get out of the way. We'll come across, take a look next time at the pit board. Fourth gear for the first turn. All right, down to first. Took first gear in Oscar that time. Just all about keeping the car nicely pointed in the right direction. No need to slide it as much anymore. Definitely just pulling away from Rent as well. So it's all about me keeping the wheels on it at this point. Such a crazy racetrack and race. I was expecting some crazy stuff, but not that huge accident on the first lap. Ooh, touching the curbs there. Don't need to be doing that. Just saw another car ahead. Just keep it in second here through the chicane. Nice and easy. Take a look at the pit board here. Figure out how many laps we got to keep the car on the black stuff. 8 more laps to go. So quite a ways. Little skid marks everywhere coming into the first turn. So a red car in front. That might be Bonnier or Siffert. I think they both have red cars. Both driving Coopers, of course. Right down to first gear through the hairpin here. Yeah, that's Siffert. I can see the red helmet. Just need to try to plan these passes in the right spot without losing too much time, but I'm not sure I need to worry about that too much. I didn't look at the gap behind me last time through, but I don't see Rint behind me anywhere. All right, Siffert's going to try to get out of the way, I think. Oh, it's so awkward here. Just go, go, go. Be easier coming out of the chicane. Try to get around him. Oh, so nervous. All right, white flag, another slow car ahead. Ooh, Trevor Taylor there. So a lot of cars having trouble here. There was high attrition in the real race as well. Just with walls and stuff like this, it always happens. Down to first gear. Look back at old results for races like Pau or Monaco, and there'd be 2 or 3 finishers sometimes. Especially all the shifting and everything too. The car's suspension as well. Very weak to hitting things like curbs. These days they put the barriers inside of the curbs so that it's not possible to hit them. Makes the track so much more narrow feeling. Down to second gear. Oh, just touching the curbing there. Luckily got some clean track here, so hopefully not too many more lap cars for the rest of the race for my sake. 6 more laps to go. Pretty remarkable they still hold racing around this circuit and pretty much the same layout as we have here, and it's still quite a remarkable event for junior formula. I think it's an F3 event now. Some pretty good racing still to be had around this circuit, but have to think this was the glory days of Pau. All right, second gear then. Ooh, crossed up. That's one of the sections that's so easy to overdo it. Run into the chicane wall. Just can't let up too much. You can drive a little easier, but then all your braking markers and everything changes, and it's actually even a little harder. Work it through the chicane. Just slide the car left and right and left and right. Take a look at the pit board. See the gap. Can't quite see it. 12 maybe. Alright, get it down to first gear. So much shifting in a circuit like this makes you long for one of the fast sweeping tracks. Like a Zandvoort. Too far to the inside. Down to second gear. Never like corners like that where you have to downshift in the middle of the corner, but figured out it's probably the quickest way through there. Spent a long time playing with the gears in this car for this track. So it's got a lot of really slow sections and then the fast front straightaway area. Do the chicane here. You can't quite get the gearing perfect. Down to fourth, floated on in. Slowing down a little bit more than usual, just trying to take it conservatively. No lap cars now for quite a few laps. Feels almost alone out here on the track. Right down to second gear. The power down nice and easily in these cars. Not a lot of wheel spin or anything to worry about. Second on the entry. All right, through the chicane then, another lap complete. Should just be a few more now. Look at the pit board. Just need to try to get in the zone. Oh, on a lapped car. We'll see 3 more laps. Plenty good lead. Got 1 lap car coming up though. Looks like one of the blue cars. Some couple Matras, as well as the Alpine in this race. Of course, would have been a lot of French drivers in this race. In the whole F2 French Championship. Just slide it on through Casino there. Ooh, a little hot. Get it down to first for the chicane. Yeah, it looks like the Alpine, so it's Henri, who I started just behind in the race. Done a full lap on him. Something like that feels pretty good after such challenging races here, but have to think some of the competition was taken out in that first lap squabble. Come through the chicane nice and easily. Who's going to move over to the right? Just let me by on the left. There we go. On another car ahead too, but 2 more laps to go. So we'll spend the last couple laps here working on whoever's ahead of me. Ooh, a little hot into turn 1. Down to first gear for the hairpin. All right, second gear. Down to first for the chicane. White car ahead. Could be Trevor Taylor again. And a pit stop for something, but came back out. All right, through the chicane. Come onto the front straightaway. 5th gear, 1 more lap to go. P1, 1 lap to go. What you want to see? It's all in my hands now. Get down to first gear. Oh, it's actually Graham Hill in front. Graham Hill, I'm not sure what team he's driving for. Oh, cuts in front of me. My God. Almost ruining the whole race there right at the end, giving me such a scare. Finished 3rd place in real life in this, but overall, I don't think he had a very competitive F2 car. All right, come through the hairpin. Hopefully doesn't try anything crazy there. Such a scary moment. Absolutely hate when they do that. But you would have those miscommunications in real life too. It's so hard, especially in a real car, to see what's going on behind you. The mirrors vibrate like crazy. You don't really get that sensation here. So it's not easy to see behind you at all. Of course, no radios or anything like that to have anybody tell you what's going on. A lot of drivers actually turn their heads, but you might not even notice a car coming up behind you if you're in the zone. Either way, come through. It looks like Hill's sticking with me pretty good here. We'll come through the final chicane. Oh, man. Just get it nice and easy through there. There we go. Pedal to the metal. Come to the line. There we go. Such an interesting race. Really, really difficult around here, but gonna win the 1966 Pau Grand Prix. Oh, finally winning a race after it feels like a while since I won something. I think maybe the Daytona 24 Hours was the last race that I've won here with Richie Axelson, but very disappointed in that move from Graham Hill at the end, right about here on the track, but crazy stuff. I gotta watch that first lap melee again, see what happened with Jack Brabham there. You can actually still see skid marks on the track. We got pushed a little bit wide. Jochen Rindt then also pushing as well, but needed to do clean laps to get the win. It definitely was not an easy one. I think I was quicker overall than the cars that were left at least, but have to put in the laps to be able to do it. There goes Kurt Ahrens as well. So I don't know if I'll necessarily be racing the full 66 French F2 Championship. There might be conflicting dates with other series, but a really good one to come out on top in. So we'll take a look at the final results, and there we are up top. Richie Axelsen finishing the race in first, 70-mile-an-hour average over Kurt Ahrens in second. So something happened to Rindt. He ended up having an accident, it looks like, actually. But Jackie Stewart then getting the third podium position. And you can see quite the rap sheet of retirements, all the way up to 9th position with Jochen Rindt. Must have retired right at the end with some sort of accident. But a lot of cars retiring. We had Graham Hill there being the first car lap down. But Denny Hulme finishing 4th, Graham Hill. And then Henri Grandshire finishing in 6th position in that Alpine. But yeah, if we look further down, a lot of accidents. We see very much towards the bottom Jack Brabham, Joe Bonnier. I don't know if those were the two maybe that got together on the first lap, but something definitely happened there. But interesting as well, I had the quickest lap at a 1:26.3, which is quite a lot faster than what I qualified with. So nice to see some clean track and what it can do, but a difficult race overall. So I hope you enjoyed this one, a little more F2 action to help prepare for the Formula One season. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.